Tonight, we are going up against Satan's gate. I'm a little concerned, man, about your salvation and stuff. How come you have not been baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay? I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Welcome to Hispanerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hispanerds. This is Alex.
This is Kenji.
And we are back with the final episode spoiler/Easter egg conversation. Finale of Loki, episode 6. We're going to go through some Easter eggs. We're going to go through our impressions of the show overall and what we thought of this last one, and give some predictions, thoughts about where we think this is going in the future.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with Easter eggs. We went back to BuzzFeed again. Mm-hmm. They spotted 33 Easter eggs. One thing that I've noticed as we've gone through the list is that some of the things that are reported as Easter eggs are not really Easter eggs. They're more like observations. And then other ones really are like legit Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like it took me, when we read through this, I went back and watched episode 5, and then more clearly I saw the helmet for the bad guy from Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like then I'm like, oh yeah, there it is, boom. And then right. I was looking at for all the other little things that were shown.
Right.
So, all right, but here we go. So we are going to start out with, okay.
Numero uno.
Okay, so number 1. So this episode opens with an absolute attack, a.k.a. it starts with Peggy and Steve's song, It's Been a Long, Long Time, which we've heard throughout the MCU. And there's both of them. Yeah. Literally the first details in the first second of this episode. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long post. During the Marvel Studios opening, we hear some iconic lines from the other MCU movies and TV shows, like Sam's excitement over Scott, Hope talking about punching, T'Challa yelling, "Wakanda forever!" and Natasha's iconic "Put you on hold" line. Oh, yeah, so let me see. One of the things we hear is from Captain America Civil War. We hear, "Way to go, Tic Tac." Ant-Man, "That's how you punch." Avengers Infinity War, "Wakanda forever." The Avengers, "Let me put you on hold." Since this is more interesting than just seeing the quotes over the Marvel opening again, I pulled the actual movie scenes from therefrom. Okay. We hear Peter's dance offline. Thor yelling about his work friend, 2012. And 2023 Steve talking, and Captain Marvel's catchphrase, "Dance off, bro. He's a friend from work. I can do this all day." Yeah, I know. And then "Higher, further, faster, baby." Also, we hear Loki's "We have a Hulk" line. Korg talking about jumping on a spaceship. Classic Loki shouting "glorious purpose." Vision telling Wanda about grief. And Sylvie asking Loki to open his eyes. And we also hear Ant-Man, Hank Pym, and a few more quotes, but this list is already getting long. Among the MCU lines, we can hear some famous quotes from real people too, like philosopher Alan Watts, Neil Armstrong, Greta Thunberg, Malala Yousafzai, Nelson Mandela, former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and Maya Angelou. We think of time as a one-way motion. One small step for man. How dare they? My dream. We have fought for the right to experience peace. Motivated by women throughout the world. I will rise. Those are all the quotes from all the different people.
And rise you will.
Also,
yes.
If you pause quickly while hearing Neil Armstrong's quote, you can see what looks like the Quinjet that Natasha, Clint, and the others traveled to space in during Avengers Endgame.
A lot of people don't think that's the Queen jet because it doesn't really look like it.
Well, you know,
But there's
when they traveled out to space, they didn't travel out in a Quinjet. So this BuzzFeed is actually incorrect in my opinion. The what they took when they flew out was the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Milano.
But it doesn't look like that one either.
Yeah, I mean,
well, people, from what I've been hearing, they're speculating that this right here, is the Fantastic Four ship.
That's too far of a stretch.
You think so?
Yeah, that's too far of a stretch. I'm gonna redirect it for my opinion and say that that's the Milano because originally.
But if you really look at the window, you can see thing. You see that little orangey thing?
Oh, you're right. There he is. No. Yeah, in the one that they're talking about, they fly out into space in rocket ship. They never head out in a Quinjet. In fact, Quinjets aren't equipped to go out into space. So I don't know why they thought that was a Quinjet. The instrumental song that plays when we see Loki's title card this week is different from what we've heard in previous episodes. Yeah, it is that. And normally it's that do 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 do. Yeah. When Loki and Sylvie walk up the steps, you can see 2 hourglasses flanking the doors. Oh yeah, that's cool. Miss Minutes creepily welcomes Loki and Sylvie to this place beyond the void and calls it the Citadel at the end of time, which is taken directly from the comics. It appeared in Thor issue 245 when Thor, Jane, and other Asgardians travel there. Yeah, and those statues look super cool. Now, those statues have clock faces on them, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Which made me feel like maybe Miss Minutes was the bad guy the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Especially when she appeared like that, too.
Yeah.
I was like, she's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was going to write. But no, I was wrong.
In that same Thor comic, Jane also talks to He Who Remains. That's who Miss Minutes says lives in the Citadel and reveals what the Time Twisters really do. In the comics, the Time Twisters were a trio of beings created by the TVA. Sound a little familiar?
Yeah. So what I said last time, too, about the whole He Who Remains was pretty much on spot. It's just a different variant of He Who Remains from the comic books.
You talking about Kang?
Yeah. Because this variant, he's He Who Remains.
Oh, yeah. He Who Remains is an all-powerful being who founded the TVA in the hopes of not repeating past mistakes, which is also something that is brought up later in the episode. In the comics, Kang does have a citadel similar to this one too. I mentioned it last week, but it's called Chronopolis, and it's located on the outskirts of time. Let's see here. Miss Minute tries to entice Loki by mentioning a few of his failed plans that he could be successful at with the help of He Who Remains. Not only does she mention the Battle of New York from the Avengers, but she also brings up Loki becoming the king of Asgard, which he tried to accomplish in Thor. So again, not so much of a Easter egg, but just a reminder of Loki and his journey and how he got to where he is.
Right.
Also, Miss Minute says that Loki could kill Thanos and take the Infinity Gauntlet for himself, which was most likely his plan if the Battle of New York was successful.
That almost got him. Like when she said that, his reaction,
He's like, kill him? Yeah. As Loki and Sylvie travel deeper into the Citadel, the camera tilts as they walk down the hallway. This camera move was also used a lot in Doctor Strange when Stephen and Mordo fought Kalish.
Yeah. It also represents a lot of Wizard of Oz. Like there's a hallway that looks pretty much identical to that hallway. It's just green in the Wizard of Oz.
And there's been a few different directors, a few different movies that have done that to do that whole twist, all the way around thing to disorient you, to disorient the audience. You can spot the statues of 3 people plus one that is broken. These represent the 3 timekeepers we know about. The one that we haven't seen in the comics, He Who Remains, actually created 4 timekeepers, but one of them, the Oracle of Siwa, was exiled.
You know, I never noticed the stained glass either.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know about the Oracle of Siwa. That's pretty sweet. And yeah, the stained glass looks awesome.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at X's, so I'm thinking X-Men.
What was that meme with Falcon? I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
Thing confirmed. Okay, obviously not a hidden detail, but Jonathan Majors has officially joined the MCU as He Who Remains / Kang. It sounds like two comic characters are being combined for his part, and it's perfect. In the comics, Kang actually learns how to conquer timelines by studying He Who Remains.
Yeah. And see, that's what they've been doing with the MCU. They've been combining.
Oh yeah, multiple
Yeah.
characters, in at least multiple character storylines
Yeah.
sometimes into one.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense just because it's so much easier. There's just so many characters in comic books too.
And they've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more to go. Honestly, it feels good that me yelling about Kang way back in episode 1 wasn't totally wild. In case you're like, but Nora, tell me more about Kang. Here you go. In the comics, Kang the Conqueror is as fearsome as Thanos. He's basically made up dozens of identities from various timelines, just like what is explained in this episode. A variant of myself lived on Earth in the 31st century. He was a scientist, and he discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own. At the same time, other versions of us were learning the same thing. In the comics, the various Kangs include Nathaniel Richards, Immortus, Raman Tut, Iron Lad. So basically, buckle up.
Yeah,
And do you know who Nathaniel Richards is?
No.
That's Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic.
Oh, his son.
It's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been shown to be a king. You know. He Who Remains. His outfit is very similar to what various Kang variants wear in the comic books. Purple is his signature color, and Immortus, a Kang variant from the comics, has a similar gold symbol on his chest.
He's Prince.
Yeah, basically, Prince is He Who Remains, baby. We finally know that the pen Mobius kept using in Ravonna's office in episode 2 and in episode 4 is related to a Ravonna variant in 2018. Thank you. I had to yawn all of a sudden. There we go. I mentioned that this might be the case back in episode 4, so just going to give myself some nerd points. That's the speaker of BuzzFeed talking. Yeah. You can spot a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt hanging in the wall in the school hallway, which corresponds to the fact that the pen reads Franklin D. Roosevelt High School. There you go. Also, dear good Lord, this is Ravonna's variant, this Ravonna variant works in Ohio, and I'm sorry, but after Black Widow, I cry every single time I hear Ohio because of where Natasha, Yelena, Melina, and Alexei lived. That's an interesting little connection. It doesn't make me cry. Behind Hunter B-15, you can spot Ravonna's real name on her diploma from Ohio State University. So Ravonna's name is actually Rebecca Tourmenant, which is the name Ravonna used in the comics while trying to distance herself from Kang.
Mm-hmm.
When He Who Remains shows Loki and Sylvie all of their printed dialogue, you can see that He Who Remains' line says me, while Loki's lines lists his variant identification number L1130. Oh, that's funny.
That number represent.
When Ravonna is about to prune Mobius, the shot is very reminiscent of when Loki looks up at the Avengers in the Avengers. Oh, yeah. You could almost imagine all the Avengers behind her.
Yeah.
That's a cool...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool tilt. He Who Remains tells Sylvie and Loki that he's been dubbed many names, and this is similar to Kang in the comics. Most notably, he's King the Conqueror, but he does go by other names. He Who Remains tells a story about how his variants helped each other before they started a multiverse war. In the comics, the Council of Kings is a group made up of kings who look to eliminate kings that diverge from the path.
Go back up a little bit. One more on the next picture. That one right there. See, that to me is an Easter egg. That's a hidden Mickey.
Oh, which one?
Go up a little. You see it? Hidden Mickey.
I disagree. I would have agreed with you if the circle in the middle had been smaller, yeah, and the other ones had been bigger. That looks like a creature, actually, with a mouth to me. That's funny, though. All those little kings fighting. He Who Remains tries to entice Loki and Sylvie to take over, pruning the timeline, and throughout the episode, he's eating an apple. It's hard not to make the biblical symbolism comparison. Adam and Eve, the apple, and the snake. Yeah, a lot of people made that connection right after the episode. Also in Doctor Strange, when Stephen first uses the Eye of Agamotto, he practices on an apple, and since this episode is really going to influence Doctor Strange 2, more on that soon, I had to bring it up. That's right.
Yeah, it also represents Snow White, the witch giving the apple to Snow White.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. It's fine. We've officially entered the multiverse in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is going to directly impact Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm sorry, I can't stop typing in all caps. Doctor Strange is going to have such a wild time between Loki basically helping to start the multiverse and Wanda messing with reality. Y'all, there are comics with Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Loki fighting side by side, and I literally tweet about it regularly because I need it, and I feel like we're so close. Not only do we see the sacred timeline splitting, but with Sylvie killing He Who Remains, we're going to get more of his variants, which means I'm assuming Jonathan Majors will be an evil He Who Remains variant in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. When Loki returns to the TVA, Mobius and Hunter B-15 don't know who he is, and I'm assuming that Loki is now on a different timeline where he never met Mobius. Yeah, this one right here is one of the things I want to talk about. Like, there's no explanation, but all of a sudden they don't know who he is, and they don't even. It almost seemed like they didn't even recognize what he looked like.
Well, no, because you can see that they're right. It's in a different timeline. Because before he even talks to him, he's saying, "What does he want us to do?" Talking about Kang the Conqueror.
No, I get that,
yeah.
but what was interesting is, I would assume that even if it was a new timeline,
yeah,
they would still know what a Loki looks like.
Yeah, but maybe the Loki in that timeline might look different. It might be somebody else.
But even if the Loki in that timeline might look different, or might be somebody else, still in that timeline, it's the same rules as the other one. They would have met multiple Lokis that looked multiply different. They would have met Alligator Loki. They would have met,
I see, I see
so
what you're saying,
so it's almost like this Loki now is outside of existence. It's almost like he's not even to them in their brain when they look at him. He's not. He doesn't even look like a Loki. Like, I'm wondering if when we can get into this, but
yeah,
it almost makes me think that in season 2, he's going to turn around and look into a mirror, and it's not going to be him.
No,
it's going to look like somebody else.
No, I don't think so.
Because otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they would know what a Loki looks like.
No, because again, Kang the Conqueror basically now is owning that department. He's conquered that area, so he might have changed a lot of stuff in that timeline.
I think that's too much of a stretch, in my opinion.
No.
The statue of He Who Remains that Loki sees at the very end of the episode looks just like Kang's comic book look. So yes, you can hear me yelling. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And finally,
case closed.
Not a real hidden detail, but in case you left before the end of credit, we are getting Loki season 2. Loki will return. Which so far this has been the only Disney Plus show that for the Marvel side that has gotten an official season 2. Yeah.
Something that's cool that somebody did. They you know that part when Kane is right before they going,
King?
yeah, or at the moment he's called
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains.
You could put it back on if you want.
He's playing with some of his little dolls that he creates.
Yeah.
But wait, what the heck did I do?
First of all, they're action figures.
They're actually
So get it straight. How dare you? How dare you?
So so when they're walking through the door, he drops one of them. I'm not sure, like on the desk, and it flops. So they played Wanda's Vision, the last episode of the finale, with this one, like neck to neck, and right when he's like pausing, and he says the threshold.
Like they went past it.
Yeah. Right before that, right when he that's when he picks up one of the things and drops it. And right when he drops it, that's the part when Agatha is in the air and she's coming down, and then she automatically just falls. And it's on point when he's dropped her, so it looks like he's playing with like a voodoo doll of of Agatha.
Right.
So a lot of people are like speculating, like whatever he was doing there was messing with whatever, you know. And then also when the branches were breaking, that's also when Scarlet Witch hears her
children.
her children. So seeing like she's probably hearing it from another timeline of some sort. So it was pretty cool that they put that together.
Fun speculation.
Yeah.
Whether that's a case or not, who knows? But it's pretty cool to. I mean, that there's not. They're careful about how they connect things, and they're thoughtful about how they connect things. So it wouldn't surprise me that as they're moving through, and they're doing the interconnection thing, that they're doing subtle little nods.
I'm trying to get like
stuff.
3 TVs and then start playing.
So Kenny, what do you do for work? I just watch to see how everything connects. Oh man. But yeah, this episode was excellent. This whole I don't know what you'd call it, season or whatever, has been great. Definitely not what I expected. Same thing with WandaVision. Not what I expected.
Yeah, it was
actually ended up being surprisingly better than I expected. And really, made me. It made me think different about stuff. It made me just about the Marvel universe. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you rewind it back for 1 second? Can you go back like 10 seconds? I thought I just go. Oh, okay. Go back again. Did you see that distortion? Watch when Sylvie walks. Look at the back of her head. You see that distortion?
Yeah.
What do you think that is? Because that's not your TV, and that's on purpose.
I don't know.
That's something that the show just did right now. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Because I saw it on my TV as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So that's interesting that they added that little distortion. I wonder what that was. Anyway,
it could be because they're the ones that are changing
reality minute to minute. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that might be the case. But oh yeah, there goes that tilt. They used to do. I believe this tilt was very popular in Batman, the original 1966.
Oh,
they used to use this tilt a lot. But so anyway, going back to the show.
Yeah,
definitely not what I was expecting. Made me like Loki even more than I already liked him, and it fundamentally changed the nature of the character.
I love the writing on this. The writing was really, really good on this.
It was fun. I mean, it's actually kind of amazing at how quickly they got to make you care about characters like Mobius.
Yeah,
And
and even Sylvie. Like I really like Sylvie.
yeah.
And I'm like I know it's weird and for some people are like very disgusting, but I knew they were gonna get together and
Yeah,
do
that
it.
is disgusting.
But I
Actually,
was like,
that's
"Aw."
not only is that weird, but it is disgusting.
I was like,
That's
they love
the
each other. So
that's the
much.
only part of this show that I don't like.
I love that part.
I
Everybody's loving that part.
I
You're
don't.
a hater. You don't love yourself.
I will continue not to love myself. I do not like that part.
I just love him in the background, like just watching them.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked his performance a lot. Jonathan Majors
Yeah.
did a fantastic job as Kang. And I also love that, like, Kang is not somebody in my brain that I associate with anybody specifically. Like, when you think of Captain America, you think white dude, blonde hair, you
Right.
know, like the epitome of a super soldier. But Kang is not somebody that I had in my head that I'm like, he needs to be this or he needs to be
Right.
that or he needs to.
But what I do like about it, like if you look at the color schemes that's shining off his face, it's almost like a blue tint.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And so
Yeah. Again, not a mistake.
no,
Like
of course not. Yeah. It's all done on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love his performance on this. I love when he's having the conversation with them.
Very Shakespearean. The way he talks. Yeah.
Not to me. To me, to me, he was like a cool 1970s brother from Harlem. To me,
he mixes it up. He was doing a little bit of everything.
To me, he was real smooth. It kind of reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino style character, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I like all the choices that he's making. I like the way that he smiles, the way that he feels like he's having fun, but at the same time, there's like seriousness to the moment.
Yeah.
And then that part in the show, when he's like, okay, I lied, I don't know everything, and he goes, I stopped knowing everything, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool just to see.
Fibber.
And then also to see him be a little bit afraid, but to at the same time to give up his, like, when he doesn't know what's coming anymore, and he knows that potentially he might get killed.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of fear in him, but at the same time he's like, I will be back.
Yeah.
And so it's that moment of like going into the unknown, being worried, being afraid, but then accepting what's going to happen.
Right.
And then, he dies and now something worse is coming. They're so funny with their blades. Okay, cool.
What I want to know is what she read. Like the files that...
Well, season 2, baby.
Yeah, and
season 2, we're going to find out. Because even... and here's my prediction on that. My prediction on that is at this point, when she gets that information, Kang still knows what's happening. So he sends her information on how to find him after the event
probably
takes place. So I imagine she's going to find him and then help whatever version she finds to get the ball rolling, which they could play it two ways. She could end up being a good guy in the end because she finds the version of King that is quote unquote good, not the one that's trying to destroy everything.
Right.
Or she finds a way tougher, more evil and sinister King that she falls in love with and then joins him in his quest to like take everything over, So there's a lot of possibilities on here. Oh, look, Homecoming.
Yeah.
I just noticed that right now. But yeah, I think also, and I'm just going to hold on to it, I think that the Loki at the end of this episode does not look like Loki to people anymore. I think he looks like something else.
I disagree on that one.
We shall see.
Yes, we shall. For Spider-Man,
No Way Home?
Yeah, No Way Home. You know how on this episode it was the two variants that were a threat to Kang pretty much. They're the ones that could probably do something about it. maybe that's the reason why we're getting the multiverse also with Spider-Man and them getting united. Like they need them three or how many ever Spider-Mans,
Right. Right.
because that's the only way they can probably defeat whoever's gonna be the villain in that one. So, kind of maybe.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it went away, huh?
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, folks. We had a tiny bit of a technical difficulty, which happens because I have this janky connector that hooks up to my iPad. I'm going to fix that this week. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Talking about Spider-Man, I'm thinking about doing a movie, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in starring in it. It's called El Araña, and the movie is going to be titled No Way Holmes.
No way.
It's not going to be anything like the Spider-Man. We're not going to get sued.
Okay.
What do you think?
That sounds good. Just pure bandanas everywhere. Red and blue bandanas everywhere.
Who's that? It's El Araña, man. No way, Holmes. Did we ever talk about this? Did you ever see do you know what Johnny Quest is?
Johnny Quest?
Yeah.
That cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see somebody made like it looked really good. It looked like Hanna-Barbera style animation, but it was like Johnny Quest had like a knife, and he was like a gangster, and like did you ever see that?
No, I never saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it, because, dude, it was a long time ago that I don't even know if. Hold on. Let me see here.
Johnny Quest. Like, no, I don't recall that. No one.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find the. You know what? I'm gonna have to look for it, and then see if I can. Yeah, I'll look for it for Monday's show, and see if I can show it to you.
Okay.
Okay, dude, it was so funny. Like, I mean, the type of sense of humor that they put in, and
it's like a whole little skit.
It's like a whole little skit, but it's all cartoon. And I'll show it to you. It's hilarious, man. It just made me think of that right now, because at one point in the little episode, or the whatever the skit, Johnny Quest like tries to pass himself off as a Mexican dude, and he puts a bandana on his head and is real low, and he's like, hey. It's just really funny. This was this part right here in Loki was a little bit heartbreaking to see them go back and forth.
Yeah.
And to see that she thinks that she's right. She's like, no, you betrayed me. But I would, if I'd been him, I would have come back at her and been like, no, you betrayed all of us.
Right.
By keeping the truth from us.
Yeah, keeping all these secrets.
Yeah. But. And he's such a sweet dude. Like,
yeah, he sucks at fighting.
Yeah. Well, he's not a fighter. He's a lover.
No, he's a whisperer.
He's a whisperer. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter was like, how can he yell and it still be soft?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe you're going. Like, is he yelling? He is, and he's really angry.
Yeah.
We saw him in my wife and I saw him in a movie called Bliss, which was a terrible movie. But in that, he's there are moments where he gets angry and he's like yelling, and it's still the same. He's like,
oh yeah, same thing. Yeah,
like
what was the movie, the one I like him in with Jackie Chan?
80 Days Around the World or something like that, or is it?
No, it's Shanghai something, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. Because Jackie Chan did do a movie about going around the world in 80 days. But the one he did with him was...
Yeah, because he did a one and part two. I think
that's right. That's right. Jackie Chan always did his best work when he got together with... with
Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
my God, that's... Mwah.
Although Jackie Chan now... I personally, I haven't liked Jackie Chan for a few years now.
Really, I like this. The last movie I saw was the serious one where his daughter gets killed and he it's almost kind of like Taken, like that type of serious movie, or like Born Identity.
I don't like him for political reasons. That's why I stopped watching his movies.
Oh, because of the whole communist thing.
Yeah, and then this week, this past week, it got highlighted because he was at some awards thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so it just kind of reinforced for me. I'm like, I don't watch Jackie Chan movies anymore.
I still do.
Nah,
it doesn't change what he did in the past. I like it. I haven't seen anything new from him, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything he did in the past. It's just I no longer watch any of his past movies.
Oh,
I just
see.
don't. I don't gravitate towards any of his stuff.
Dude, can you imagine everything you love that you like watching, and then they all just change politically, and you're just, man, I can't watch nothing now.
Well, I don't think he changed. I don't think he changed politically, but I have stopped watching. I have stopped watching a few people's stuff because of that.
Because of that.
But not because of their stance on politics. Because of their so I found out like this director, he raped like a 12-year-old girl.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like,
but I'm just telling you, there's all various different reasons why I've decided I'm not into watching, because
But I was just talking about like just them changing into like communists or any type of other.
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on what it is, because like I firmly believe in freedom of speech and freedom of thought and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So if somebody's Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
What bothers me is when the way that they exercise like those beliefs. So like in of itself, Jackie Chan being communist,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and wanting to be part of that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that he knows, for example, what's happening with like the Uyghur Muslims, how they've rounded up millions of them and they put them into camps in China. Yeah. And he's in support of that. That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. I mean, I don't know if you heard about that or not.
No, I haven't heard none of that.
Oh, dude, it's literally heartbreaking. They've gone around and it. So you know how big China is.
Yeah. It's
really, really big. So there's certain sections that are made up of different kinds of, people. Well, not even ethnicities, because all of the Uyghur Muslims are technically Chinese. They're technically genetically, but they decided to round them up and they created camps. And somebody else just did another report because they flew drones overhead. Yeah. And this was all done illegally. You're not allowed to do this in China, but they took drone shots of everything, and then they used mathematicians to project out how many people can be held in each thing. So they have facilities that can hold over 1 million people, no problem.
Wow.
And they've been rounding up these people, the government, and these people have been disappearing and they're not coming back. And so to me, like, that's information that exists out there.
Yeah.
And for me, for Jackie Chan to be on board with what the government
again, like you might know this, but he might not know this.
Well, the only reason I'm going to say no to that is because he's more well informed about what's happening.
We don't know that. That's your assumption.
It's just assumption or not, like, he has people around him that are providing him with information.
It's still all assumptions.
Oh, sure. I mean, assumption or not, I mean, whatever you want to call it, all he has to do is open up like the news. Yeah. Like that's all he's got to do. What I'm
saying is, like, there's people that don't like even watching the news or anything like that, so they're not even aware. They're only aware of a certain thing, like if they have a certain hobby.
Sure, but
that's all they focus on.
Sure, but I can't give him or anybody else a pass who I wouldn't be able to give myself a pass if I decided to join some group and I didn't look into them first. I couldn't.
Yeah, and you can still look into something and not know everything.
So no, not know everything, but
because they might be keeping something.
Not know everything, but that one is nobody's keeping secret. You know what I mean? Like there's some things that groups can keep secret, but that one, the entire world, like the UN is involved in this, and so there's certain things, you're right, you can keep secret, but then there's other things that are on the world stage.
But here's another thing too. Like
for him to not look into it and immediately see.
Right. But then again, like, let's say I'm just playing right here, devil's advocate, of course. But and let's say you're over there, like, you know how here we see certain things and then we call it conspiracies. Oh, that's just a conspiracy.
Right.
So over there could be the same thing.
Sure.
Whatever you're talking about, they'd be like, oh, that's just a conspiracy.
Sure. Yeah.
So he's not gonna believe it because he thinks you're a conspiracy theorist. So that's what I'm saying. It's you just don't know.
Sure.
You know?
But then he has to make the leap that it's a conspiracy that's coming from the UN, which is made up of hundreds of different nations. So like he has to make a leap, a logistical leap to say there's over 160 countries that are all angry about this situation and that are calling for justice about the situation, and there's multiple countries that are reporting, that media are reporting about this. So he has to make such a leap on that and to say, well, this is a conspiracy.
Right.
If you're the type of person that believes that the entire world is conspiring against your country,
right,
there's nothing me or anybody else can do. The only person that can then change his mind is the country that holds allegiance to and the government that he holds allegiance to. There's nothing you can do about that.
Exactly.
But then that's on Jackie Chan. It's not on anybody else. It's on him. If I'm about to join a group or I'm thinking about joining a group and I look into it and there's, for example, let's go to the worst thing. Let's say the group is accused of child molestation. That happens a lot in that group.
Right.
Well, if it's coming from one individual like me, let's say the information is coming from a person like me,
right,
and that's it, and there's no proof, there's no multiple sources, multiple outlets, multiple, then I could definitely see Jackie Chan's position. If he was like, this crazy person is saying this thing about my government,
right,
that's insane. But if there's multiple investigations, multiple reports, multiple, I'm sorry, some things, I mean, the conspiracy theory I
get what you're saying.
The conspiracy theory for a long time was about aliens. Now, multiple governments and people within our government are coming out and saying, here's video. We have video. We have eyewitness testimony. It's gone from conspiracy into no longer conspiracy.
Yeah.
So China and what they're doing with the Uyghur Muslims, it tipped over into.
I have to look into that. I had no idea that was going on over there.
Crazy.
And they're called what? Uyghur?
Uyghur Muslims.
Uyghur.
Yeah, Uyghur. Yeah.
Uyghur with a G.
Yeah. WEIG. Yeah, Uyghur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Muslims.
Yeah, Uyghur Muslims. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. When information is being thrown out, people have to look into it. They can't just take the word of a podcaster or the word of
you always
a blogger
research
or the word
all your stuff.
You can't just take one source.
But there's also people that are very hard headed that if you grew up in a certain area, like a lot of people here in the States, they consider the United States #1 country, whatever. We're the best in this, and they consider everybody.
You're looking at it.
I know, and they consider everybody, every other country, underneath them.
Right.
In those countries, they're raised that their country is #1.
Yeah.
And everything else is, beneath them.
Yeah.
So if he's grown up over there, he's probably, sees it in that perspective. Even though he's a movie star and he's traveled around, we don't know what he's seen. So that's the reason why I just can't assume why he's like that,
Or brainwashing.
or
It's
yeah,
just brainwashing.
yeah.
Because
Well,
you just made a great point.
yeah.
He's one of the few people in the world that has had the opportunity to travel and to see other cultures, to see other ways
Yeah.
of thinking, other people.
Right.
So for
And then
him,
you don't know what he's seen around the cultures. I mean, because are you well traveled as well?
but for him, no, that's not the point. The point is that for him to have been able to have an experience that the general population will never have, and to still maintain his
right.
brainwashing
Mm-hmm.
is pretty extraordinary.
Well, again, we don't know if he's like really brainwashed or not, because like, okay, I can't like, even though we all know that China's a communist country, and I've never been to China. I don't know how. This is all coming from television, speculations from higher people, whatever. But again, I've never been to there. I'm not a well-traveled person. Like when I've gone to Guatemala, Mexico, and what I've seen, then I could like really speak on it. But because I haven't gone to those countries, then I can't say so much.
Well, you do want to be careful, in my opinion. You do want to be careful of not being able to speak on things that you've never personally experienced.
I'm gonna go to China next month.
You want to be careful of that, because not every experience that you haven't had doesn't mean that you can't speak on it.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, everybody should be careful about how they decide that, well, I haven't experienced that, so I can't speak on it because I haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
There are some things that you shouldn't experience that you can still have an opinion on.
Well, not even experience, but even having conversations with the people. Like you start seeing the culture and seeing like what these people are going through, just in general, anywhere you go, and then you're like, okay, they're especially like when you go to poverty areas.
There's
and stuff.
so many videos now of people sharing their experience all over the world. I mean, look at what's happening right
Cuba.
now in Cuba.
Yeah.
I just listened. Sorry, guys. We love Loki. 5 sombreros.
Yeah. 5 sombreros on Loki.
Man, I just listened to this girl this woman that I always have a tough time listening to her when she speaks, because she is so on this one side,
Mm-hmm.
like hardcore. Her name's Abigail
Coel.
No, what's her name? She was just on Joe Rogan. Hold on, let me. I wanna get her name right, because
Joe Rogan.
I feel like that would be fair. Oh, her name's Abby Martin. Joe, she's very, very, very far left, very far, like to a point where when she talks about stuff, you go, how do we not see things even close to the same way? So one of the things that Joe asked her about, he goes, yeah, but you see all the stuff that's happening in Cuba. And she goes, what's happening in Cuba other than the things that we've messed up and we've created there? And he goes, okay, but you have seen videos of people being dragged out of their houses and being arrested and disappearing. And she goes, no, I haven't seen any of those videos. And he goes, but okay, but you've seen people talking about like wanting freedom, and they're waving, like there's people that are waving American flags over there, and that are like saying that they're not looking for medicine and they're not looking for.
She hasn't listened to Pitbull.
Oh, I don't know about Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull's been, because he's Cuban.
Yeah,
and he went hard.
He's not the only one. There's George Masvidal. He's a UFC fighter, like big time UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Him as well. Yeah, dude. If you were to listen to her talk about that situation, she does not live in reality. And here's a point to what you were saying. I haven't been to Cuba. I don't know what those people are experiencing. I only know what people are filming and putting up online, and even that could be a misrepresentation. Even people filming and putting that stuff up online could be a misrepresentation. But when you have not one video, it's like I'll liken it to this. I went down a rabbit hole the other day, and I started looking up every single video of people stealing in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I thought it was just like 3 or 4 videos.
It's a whole bunch.
There's 20, 30, 40 videos of people, different people walking into different stores in San Francisco, and just while they're being filmed, they're just throwing stuff into their bag and just walking right out. These guys walk into a TJ Maxx and they steal all these clothes. These other people walk into they're starting to shut down Walgreens. They're shutting down all these Walgreens in San Francisco because there's so much theft going on. I saw a 5-minute video with people being interviewed, and they're like, we've never seen it like this. This is like, there's been stealing here in San Francisco for a long time, sure, but we've never seen it like this. Video after video after video. So after that many times, if you throw out 2-3 videos, I'm gonna be like, it doesn't pass the smell test. Like, people steal all the time.
Yeah.
So you can't show me 2-3 videos.
Well, but here's the problem too with when it comes to videos and stuff, that there's so much propaganda as well, that even governments, they do all these films and they record things and they throw a lot of stuff because
I agree
the more
with
you see it,
I agree with you,
you
but
agree with it.
But go take a look yourself, man. You're not gonna have a hard time finding all these videos from the Bay Area of people. I mean, security guards standing next to another person. They're both filming, and like the lady goes, "Are you calling Are you gonna call 911?" And he goes, "What's the point? Like, they won't do anything because of that law that anything under $950 is not, you don't get prosecuted."
Right.
So it just, dude, it's crazy. Also, my boy Larry Elder, he got illegally not put on the ballot. So he filled out all his paper, did everything, and then
the guy you sent me.
Yeah,
okay.
he was denied entrance into the into the governor race.
Oh, really?
So he had to go to court and he had to sue. Now he's back on.
Right,
dude. It's everything's shady. Everything's shady, dude.
Oh yeah, 100% right
so
now.
Shady. But anyway, yeah, man, just crazy stuff. And I agree with you. Always go do research because you can't get it from one source. It's got to be from multiple sources.
Right.
And I feel the same way about all the Marvel stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like every time somebody throws out an opinion or what they think is coming, I'm like, I don't want to listen to that anymore because you don't know unless you're Kevin Feige or you're really deep into it and you're willing to risk your
just take it with a grain of salt.
Everything. Take it with 3 grains of salt because it's just nobody knows anything. It's just not until it comes out.
Right.
So yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna get a Spider-Man trailer this week.
I'm hoping. Man.
I'm wondering.
I we need something MCU right now.
Right now, technically, San Diego Comic-Con is going on, but it's going on online, not in person.
Oh, really?
So I'm wondering.
Wait, what month are we on? Oh, that's right. We're in July.
Yeah, we're in July. So I'm wondering if Marvel is going to do us the favor, Sony/Marvel is going to do us the favor of dropping a trailer online.
They better, man.
That would be so
either
dope.
that or Eternals. So once, give us something.
You've gotten so greedy.
I need something now.
Yeah, man.
It's like that commercial. It's my money and I want it now. But yeah, I agree, man. 5 sombreros. I love freaking what's his name? Like in the background, he's still like acting really, really well.
Oh yeah. Well, and he's kind of like looking back and forth. Even when they start fighting, he's like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, this is pretty dope.
They need to turn this whole design here into one of the rooms from the whole Disney hotels.
Oh, that would be so dope. That'd be so.
like a little library section.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Did we talk about this last week that they were back to masks again?
No, because the mask thing just happened on Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
I know. I still go, like, this is me still. If I see anybody not wearing a mask, like, I always look through the window and I go in until they say something to me. Because there's some people that are fed up with it still. So I've gone to places here and...
Oh, you're talking about businesses. I love this shot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
This is such a cool shot.
This is my favorite spot. Yeah,
Sylvie's about to cut and Loki jumps in front of her with his neck.
Yeah, he's like, I love myself.
Yeah.
Look at him in the background. Like, look how intense he is.
I know.
Like,
He's awesome.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good actors. Like,
Yeah,
even him right here. Like, I didn't even know he gets all teary here.
Yeah. No, they're fantastic, man.
Yeah.
They did such a great job. But yeah, we're everything's back to, but just LA County. That's it.
But that might change, man. What's the name? I'm not sure if you knew this, but there's a whistleblower from the government that has like all this data from where they do reports of people that have gotten the vaccines and the kind of like the adverse effects and stuff like that of people dying or
right.
So there was a conference here in Anaheim, and this doctor basically got in connection. They're not saying her name yet because they don't want to. They just don't want anything to happen to her or whatever. But they already did. They just filed a lawsuit to the government for.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. So gross.
My gosh, man.
So gross.
Why can't I find myself?
It's so gross.
But basically, they found out that, and they've been trying to keep this hush, like the government's trying to keep this hush. They found out within 3 days, this one reporting system found out that there's been 45,000 deaths from the vaccine. So they they have all this info. So they filed the lawsuit. So hopefully, I don't know how long that process takes. But
Where'd you get that from?
From these doctors, and you can actually see the file reports from the lawsuit of what they're suing the government and all that. So things are gonna hopefully start changing because they're on Fauci as well. They're
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that people are realizing things, and then also in New York, people that have gotten the shot, they're the ones that are getting COVID again.
Oh.
In New York.
I haven't read anything like that. The only thing that I've read so far is that everybody that's filling up the hospitals are supposed to be everybody that has not gotten vaccinated. So yeah. But yeah, I thought it was funny that
the masks are back.
The mask effect is back up again, and it's only up in LA County. So Ventura County, San Bernardino, Orange County, all these other counties, nothing. But LA,
I think it's a Newsom, right?
I don't see how LA could be Newsom. LA has got to be Newsom is the governor for the whole state.
I see what you're saying.
This has to do with the mayor.
Who's the mayor?
Of Los Angeles. Garcetti is still, I believe, the mayor.
Oh, the Hispanic
So
guy.
he's about to exit because I believe my wife was telling me that he accepted a position in Biden's administration.
Mm-hmm.
So he's about to exit his role as mayor, and I don't know who's coming in next, but I think they're going to do elections really quick to try to slide somebody in fast.
Yeah.
So,
what's the vice president's name again? The
Kamala Harris?
Is that her?
The vice president of the United States?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Have you seen her speeches? When she's talking with the press and all that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. Yeah.
Like, did you see the part where she's talking about the vaccines and how they also can? She even says that they also can kill you.
Well, that was an old one. That was an old one.
Are you sure that was an old one?
Yeah.
That was like from 2 weeks ago. The press,
But it's
like
way older than that. So they're pulling from.
No, that was from two weeks ago. Because I found it. It was the one that was just recently.
Right, but it may have been posted 2 weeks ago. But it was a posting from an older. This is back when Trump was still president, and she said, "We don't know what the effects are, and it might kill you. So I'm not taking it." Because she was saying,
No, that's another one. This is a whole new one. Trust me on this.
Huh? Okay, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So I'd have to go check it out and see what.
But
what
she
the
just throws it
context
in really quick.
Aliens are real. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna.
no, it's
I met with aliens, but anyway, so we're going to move on to the next subject.
Because now she's bringing also religion to it.
Interesting.
Like the whole like God says the whole neighborly thing. So like to take the vaccine because that's the neighborly thing to do.
And Jesus said, "The vaccine will heal you, my son." No, I haven't seen that one. Then
So that's the latest one that she that came out too.
I'm telling you, they're not seeing a Loki anymore. They're seeing something else, somebody else. I don't know who they're seeing, but they're not seeing Loki.
Nah.
Yeah. So he has to restart his relationship all over again with Mobius.
No, you know what's gonna happen? It is him, but because now he has that power to he's gonna basically end up touching his head and
he can't do it at the TVA. It doesn't work there.
When they go to another spot, he knows that it won't work there. But you know how they could easily just go to another timeline or whatever, and then he'll do it right there and then and free them from whatever hallucinations that they have from Kang.
I don't know, man. That's a stretch.
Because to me, like if you know you can do that now, do it.
You know you can control people's minds and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was really hoping for an end credit scene.
Oh, I mean,
like it would have been cool, like if they would have showed what's her name, and like she probably you see her
move away a little bit.
Oh, move it. Oh, okay. Oh, it went. Yeah, it's going red.
Yeah, you were like really bound.
Yeah.
You were really loud.
Yeah, it's very sensitive right now.
It is muy sensitivo.
But what's her name? Slater.
Slayer?
Yeah, Slater.
Slayer. Saved by the Bell, baby.
Yeah. Slayer, like maybe her approaching Kang, but you don't even see Kang. Like it's just like a silhouette, and you just see her like, so it's you.
Maybe, perhaps.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Let me see. So after this, what's next after Loki? What did I say?
After Loki, you have said if.
What if?
What if?
Oh, what if is in August? That's right.
What if?
That's right.
And I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
because I think that what if is going to explain a lot of what's going on with Loki, Wanda. And
I think what if is going to confuse us even more. I don't think it's going to explain. I think it's going to be even. I feel like what if is their chance to go wild.
I don't think they want to confuse us just because for a lot of people this show was confusing.
Yeah, but I don't...
Because a lot of people are not doing what we're doing, like researching and going to people that are...
Well, that's what they use us for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know, but that's just a small percentage.
That's true. That's very, very true. It's very, very true. Yeah, I don't... Okay, I want to say it down when you're out loud. I can't get... Hold on. And there we go, the end of Loki. Dude, let's talk about... Did you watch the last episode of Superman?
I haven't seen 11 or 12. I mean, 12 or 13. Is it 11 or 12 or 12 or 13?
12 and 13.
I haven't seen 12 and 13.
You're a loser.
I know.
You're a loser.
I have them. I just haven't watched it.
That's fine. Then we don't need to talk about it.
It's just I was going to watch it last night, but I came back from working out like late. And I was just like...
It's all good, baby.
When you text me, I was literally like just coming into the house.
Oh, okay, good.
So
Good.
Yeah, but I have them. I definitely want to watch them.
Well, then I'll tell you about a movie that I watched with the wife called I Am Mother.
I Am Mother. Hear me roar.
Yeah, I Am Mother. Hear me roar.
Okay.
It was interesting. You could tell that the movie again was a COVID movie. It was made during this season.
Oh, okay.
Because the entire thing took place.
There's like nothing outside.
Well, nothing outside. It all took place inside of like a base, and I'll tell you the premise really quick. And I thought it was the whole thing was fascinating and really cool to watch. But the movie, the start of the movie, you see this robot being put together. And the robot looks really cool, and it doesn't look creepy necessarily, but it doesn't look inviting either.
Right.
You know, it kind of it's an interesting design. In fact, I could probably bring it up and show you.
Yeah. Do it.
I'll show you what the design looks like. Dang, that was loud. Let me
very sensitive.
Let me see. Mother. There we go. Okay, so
When you look for that, you know
this.
which movie I want to go see in the theaters?
What's that?
Jungle Cruise. I want to see that one.
I was just talking about that with my daughter. I'm not sure how to feel about it right now.
Really? I think it's gonna be good.
I love them both. So, but you see the robot right there?
Oh, that's a cool looking design. Oh, you know what? Okay, he looks cool from the very front, but from the side view, I don't like it.
Okay. Well, I think you might like it if you watch the movie and you watch it moving.
What was that movie we saw? We didn't watch it together, but I know you've seen it and I've seen it. The one with that robot that it's like it's done in Europe or something.
Oh, Chappie.
Chappie, that's the one.
Daddy.
The side view of it kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah, but in this movie, that robot at the beginning of the movie, it gets put together by machinery, and then it activates, and then it walks over and pulls out an embryo from this storage facility unit.
Yeah,
it pops up, and then it grabs this embryo, and the fetus in the embryo like container.
Yeah,
it looks like it's already like a couple weeks old, so it's partially developed, but not all the way developed.
Right.
And then the robot puts it into like this containment unit that starts the growth process.
Right.
And a little girl is born out of it.
And that's the girl right there.
And that's the girl right there. And then you see.
Oh, so the robot's the mother.
You see a montage of the robot raising the baby from and the robot has this special thing in the front, like a warming unit. So when she's holding the baby, there's like a radiating warmth, and then you see
probably
you see the baby eating and learning to walk, and then the robot constantly is teaching the baby all new skills and everything.
Right.
So that by the time that we kind of get to know the human being, I think she's like 15, 16 in this, and she's constantly.
She looks older right there.
No, that's the human that they come across. So
the one in the white.
Yeah, so
okay.
At first, it's just the robot and this girl, this kid, and the robot is constantly testing her. And the test scores are constantly getting better and better and better. And the robot tells the girl that she can't go outside of where they live because outside it'll make her sick and she'll die. There's like a virus or something that's out there.
Oh,
and so anyway, the girl...
see, this is all propaganda for you not to go outside.
Exactly. The girl ends up hearing a knock at one of the doors, like that opens that leads to the outside, and she's like... I forgot what gets her to the place where she gets to one of the... It looks like a hangar where you drive in, your vehicle to. Well, anyway, she's in that area. She hears a knock. She puts out this special suit. It's like a 2-stage opening, so it's like the first stage opens into this holding pattern area, and then
so nothing gets contaminated.
Yeah, so she puts this suit right there, opens the door, and then the lady in white, she comes in, and then the girl Yeah, and the girl tells her put the suit on, and then the girl is trying to hide her from the robot. Just because the robot's told her, like, hey, you can't let anything in from the outside. And the robot has, like, this sweet motherly voice. But anyway, so through the movie is playing psychological games, because you're like, well, who should you believe?
Right.
Because every time the girl, so that woman is like, the robot's lying to you, and this is why. And then the robot comes up with evidence that goes, that woman is lying to you, and this is why. And like they just keep going back and forth. So as the audience member, you know, your whole vision is through the eyes of this girl. So you're like, well, who should you believe? Do you believe the robot that is cared and loved, you know, as far as it can love this little girl her whole life?
Right.
Or do you trust this stranger that seems to love other human beings that she's got drawn in this notebook? You know, who are you supposed to trust?
That's a toughie, because you're raised by a robot, but this robot has also been programmed by you don't know who.
Right.
And then, but then you don't know this psychotic lady, because you don't know what programmed her.
Right. Yeah. And she comes in shot, like in the side when she comes in. She's
you never mentioned she got shot. So once you see someone that's shot and is telling you something different from them, you have to believe the person that's shot.
Why is that?
Because they're trying to kill her for a reason.
Yeah, so it was a good movie. It was like it was intense, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really well done. And then you see the final of the movie. You see how everything is set up and why the reason for everything, but it doesn't feed it to you. It's like you come to that conclusion on your own just through deductive reasoning.
Gotcha.
of what you see in the movie. But yeah, it was a really good movie. I liked it a lot.
So how did it end?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in the
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie.
Spoiler alert. I am mother. Spoiler alert. The end of the movie, the girl that was raised by the robot, she now has a little brother. At one point in the movie, the robot shows her, and that's the problem too, is that the robot has been very honest with her throughout each stage of her life, but it really is always holding back information too. So it shows her like, hey, you're not alone. There's other humans that are in the storage facility. This is where you came from, and at some point when you're ready, you're going to be able to pick out one of them, and we're going to start the process of.
So who picked her out?
The robot. The robot picked her out, and now she gets to pick the next human.
Oh, okay.
The girl does.
That's what threw me off, because maybe there's been a.
No,
okay.
The robot pulled her out and grew her, and then they grow her brother. So by the end of the movie, the girl finds out that the robot, the mother, the shell is not actually. That's not her. That's the thing that holds her programming. But her programming really exists all over the world.
Right.
In all these other robots. She like controls everything. And so she basically, the robot mother agrees to let her live her own life and raise her brother and raise the other humans without her. But she tells her, if you need me, you'll be able to find me. And then the in the movie, it's always mother and daughter. They never actually give the girl a name. So daughter, she ends up shooting the robot in the CPU to like turn off that body.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter because the robot can transfer its.
She's Brainiac.
Yeah, she basically, and so at the end of the movie, that girl is left alone to begin the process of bringing humanity back online. And the woman in white, she's an actress named Hilary Swank. You find out, or at least my wife and I came to the conclusion that she also came from this facility a long time ago, and she escaped from that facility. And her job was to eventually, like everybody has a role to play, and her job was to eventually come back to the facility to help the human that's there realize her final full potential. And once her job is done, the robot kills her. But doesn't kill her at the facility.
So the main robot is pulling all the strings.
All of the strings. In fact, the main robot.
So the robot had raised that woman.
Yes.
And basically did certain things to make her feel a certain way so she could come back and take vengeance.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you never find out who actually programmed that robot.
Well, you find out that the robot was artificial intelligence, and it got up to a certain point where it was aware, and it killed off all humanity.
Oh.
But in killing off all of humanity, it held back some of humanity in storage, and so then it's been testing humans. So here's the other thing that you find out in the movie. The robot will raise a child and test it. And if it gets up to a certain age and it's not moving past the testing that she's testing it through, she throws them in an incinerator and cooks them to death. Just burns them. You see that? You see the after effect because you see the daughter. Mm-hmm. She starts so the daughter is very intelligent. You can tell she has all these different skills. She has the ability, for example, to fix the robot's body when the robot breaks down. And she can do engineering. She does, she can do food and all these other things. Well, anyway, smart enough where she gets into the files of the robot, finds all the testing, and sees all these failed. Like daughter, her last test that we see her do, she hits a 97%, which the robot is very happy about. But anyway, in finding all these other tests that aren't hers.
But how can you tell it's happy? Does it have expressions? Because I'm looking at the face.
You can only tell that it's happy because of the voice.
The voice.
Because she's like, you did very well, daughter.
Okay.
But the daughter ends up finding all these other tests that she never took. There are these little pads that belong, there's a dedicated pad that belongs to her that shows her progress. She finds all these other pads that don't belong to her. And each one of them at different stages, they end. And when she picks up one of the pads, she calls up the photo of the person that it belongs to. And it's not her, but it's another human. So then she goes looking around, and she remembers, at one point in the movie, the power goes down in the whole entire place. And she ends up finding out that a mouse got into the facility and ate through some of the wiring, which, feeds the whole place, brought it all down. She captures the mouse. She fixes the problem, restarts all of the power back up, and then shows the mouse to Mother. And she's like, maybe this means that it's okay to go out, to be safe to be outside now. And Mother immediately grabs the mouse that's inside of a container, and she goes, no, this thing is probably, carrying Did you go outside? And she's like, no, I didn't go outside. This is the only thing you were near? She goes, yes. She goes, then you have to take your clothes off, go take a shower immediately. We have to decontaminate you. But she's trying to ask her questions, and Mother walks straight to a incinerator, puts the whole unit in, and just boom, just lights the mouse on fire. Anyway, that reminds her later in the movie that the robot gets rid of things by incinerating it. So she goes into the incinerator, and there's a big pile of just, burnt stuff.
Ashes.
And she's sifting through, and she finds a jawbone of a human. And so that's how she knows, this thing has been raising. And then she goes back to the unit that holds the embryos.
Yeah.
And one of the units almost has an entire row just missing.
Oh, okay. So that's the reason why she ends up shooting it and killing it. But I know because she's a computer and all that, she could be in whatever.
She's a program, yeah.
Yeah. So how do they show that?
Her transferring?
Yeah.
She just tells her. They don't show it. At one point they do show it actually. They don't show a visual transfer, but she explains to her. She's like, this body is not who I am. Like I'm a program that exists outside of this body. And she eventually, the lady in white and daughter do make their way out of the facility. They do escape. And then that's when daughter like sees the world and understands that things are not what she thinks that they are. But she also understands that this lady is not telling her the truth, because this lady's telling her there's a ton of humans that live in caves.
Oh, so she doesn't die, the lady.
Oh, she dies.
Oh, she does.
But
die.
later. But this lady's telling her that there's a bunch of humans in caves that all live together. And then when she escapes with her, she takes her out by the ocean where there are these ship containers. In fact, there's one of those giant ship container ships, you know?
Yeah.
It's cracked in half, and it's just like on the ocean, you know, on the shore.
Yeah.
Well, you see all these ship containers that are on, you know, just various parts on the ocean, on the shore as well.
Yeah.
She lives in one of them. And so all the stuff that she's collected over the years is stored in there. And daughter goes in with her, and she's like, where are all the humans, you know? Like, what are we doing here? And then she tells her, like, we're the last ones, you know? There's nobody else. And then later, after daughter leaves her, goes back to facility, because she's really going back for her brother that was just born. She wants to take care of him. That's when her and mother have a conversation, and then mother's like, you know, you could just take me out. Like, it's okay. I'll always be around if you need me. And then daughter's like, I won't need you. And then boom, you know, shoots the body and shuts that body down.
Yeah.
Outside, there's other robots that roam around with like hardcore guns.
Yeah.
Mother transfers her consciousness into one of those, and that shows up at Hilary Swank's, you know, house / you know, container. And then has a conversation with her, and then she, like, the last thing you see of her is she's, you know, mother's like, and you're not needed anymore, and then just shuts the door behind her as she walks in, and then, you know, she's like, just kills her.
So this is a prequel to Matrix,
or to I Am Robot, no, or not a prequel. What's after? Not a sequel, but this is like the after. You know, everything's gone down. But yeah, it was a really good movie.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it was good. This one and the other space one, both of them have been Netflix movies. The one with George Clooney.
Yeah.
They both had a similar kind of vibe in the sense of like stylistically of how they were done, but it was really good. Yeah, and Superman and Lois, both episodes were excellent.
I seen not like images of it like on Instagram. Like
yeah.
And so I know what's his name is in it.
The
Iron.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. They did a good job. They did a good job with him and how they brought him into the mythology.
Yeah.
And how they're using him going forward. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
I'll probably watch it tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll dig it. You'll dig it.
And then also, I have a couple of Rick and Morty's that I have to watch too, because I think there's 2 episodes that I have.
They've gone too far.
They've gone too far. Really?
It's rough.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I saw one where Rick has like a hole in his stomach.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I know the other one is like this weird sperm, like
so gross.
that's the
Too far.
second to last, but
Too far.
Yeah. That and then also the Bad Batch. I have.
I've given up on the Bad Batch.
I'm still watching it because I want to see where they're going.
Yeah, you'll let me know. You'll have to.
Yeah.
You'll have to fill me in on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately. All right, man.
All right.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. We're gonna thank you guys for listening. Thanks for letting us spoil Loki for you.
Oh, and Brazil. Muchas gracias, Brazil.
Yes, thank you, Brazil. We love you. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Make sure to eat your vegetables, drink that water.
Stay healthy, my friends.
Stay healthy, my friends.